good way to react when you end up on the Jumbotron at a Coldplay concert, hugging the coworker you're having an affair with. But of all the bad options, these two chose the absolute worst one.
She's going to take him for everything he's got.
If she's going to take him to court, well, she's right to do that. The judge is going to go, you want a divorce, dear? No problem.
Oh, you're that dude from the video I watched.
We don't need to look at the evidence. We believe you.
Good evening. Tonight we're tracking a scandal shaking both Silicon Valley boardrooms and social media timelines. CEO Andy Byron breaks down as his wife hits him with a $35 million divorce lawsuit just days after he was caught on kiss cam in the arms of his company's own head of human resources. It happened at a sold-out Coldplay concert, in front of 60,000 fans and millions more watching online. A moment meant for lighthearted fun, a quick kiss for the crowd turned into a career-ending spectacle. The man once hailed as a visionary tech leader is now at the center of corporate investigations, public outrage, and one of the most expensive divorces in Silicon Valley history.
Now, if only they'd practiced improv or something, then they might have thought to pretend like Kristen was choking and Andy was doing the Heimlich. Maybe she could have pretended that she passed out from sheer boredom. It is a Coldplay concert after all.
Within hours, the footage spread like wildfire across TikTok, Twitter, and Reddit. Internet sleuths dug deeper, uncovering company-paid VIP tickets, luxury hotel stays, and expense reports that blurred the line between personal pleasure and corporate resources. And that's only the beginning. What looks like a case of infidelity is unfolding into allegations of fraud, breach of trust, and a legal war with stakes in the tens of millions. Tonight, we'll take you inside the scandal, from the picture-perfect public image the Byrons built to the silent but devastating counterattack by a wife the internet now calls revenge royalty.
It's always at the workplace.
Always at the workplace, guys and girls.
Safe. Cheating is always, most of the time, it's at the workplace, man.
Because when one kiss can trigger a corporate collapse, destroy a marriage, and cost tens of millions every second of this story matters. It was supposed to be just another highlight in a Coldplay concert, music, laughter, and a few harmless moments for the crowd to cheer on. But at the peak of the night, during the ever-popular Kiss Cam segment, the camera panned to the VIP section, and that's when the story began to unravel. There, seated front and center, was astronomer CEO Andy Byron alongside Kristen Cabot, the company's director of human resources. What happened next was anything but subtle. Kristen reached up, ran her fingers through Byron's hair, and to share a moment that could only be described as intimate, one that stood in stark contrast to the fact that Byron is a married man. Within seconds, murmurs rippled through the nearby audience. Some fans recognized him instantly, whispering to one another, pulling out their phones, and recording the scene from multiple angles. In the background, Coldplay's Fix You played a song meant to stir emotion, yet here it seemed almost ironic. On the giant screens, 60,000 people saw the exchange. At home, watching the concert's live stream with her 3 children, was Byron's wife, Megan. By the time the song ended, the damage was already done. Concertgoers were posting to Twitter. TikTok users slowed the footage down, zooming in on details, the expressions, the body language, the company-branded VIP passes. The video spread at a pace no PR team could stop.
Oh, look at these two. All right, come on, you're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
What might have been dismissed as a private lapse in judgment instantly became a public spectacle, and as we'll see, it wasn't just about romance. It was the first spark in what would become a full-blown corporate firestorm. Before the scandal, Andy Byron's life was the very definition of success. At just 45, he had amassed a personal fortune estimated at $70 million. His company, Astronomer, was being hailed as one of Silicon Valley's rising stars, a tech innovator poised to disrupt an entire industry. Investors loved him, employees spoke of his empathetic leadership, and business magazines regularly featured him, the modern CEO. At his side was his wife, Megan Byron, a former startup CMO turned wellness entrepreneur. With her poised demeanor, flawless public image, and active philanthropic work, she wasn't just Andy's partner. She was a key part of his brand. Together, they cultivated the image of a perfect power couple. Their Instagram feeds told a story of yacht getaways, charity galas, luxury vacations, and matching designer outfits. To their followers, they were the couple who had it all: wealth, influence, and a seemingly unshakable marriage. Byron himself was a master of public relations. He delivered TED-style talks on ethics and leadership, posted thoughtful threads about people-first company culture, and made a point to position Astronomer as a workplace built on trust and inclusivity. But behind the curtain, cracks were forming. Those who knew the Byrons privately say the relationship had grown distant in recent years, though nothing in their public lives suggested trouble. For the public, the facade was still flawless until the Coldplay kiss cam incident shattered it in seconds.
Now, I'm making jokes, and so is the rest of the planet. And rightfully so. These two did something evil and shameful, and they did it brazenly in public, in an arena surrounded by thousands of people. And now they're experiencing the consequences.
The contrast between the image they sold and the reality now unfolding is one reason the story hit so hard. This wasn't just another corporate scandal. It was the implosion of a brand built on ideals its leader could no longer claim to represent. Kristen Cabot wasn't just another name in the Astronomer employee directory. She was one of the most powerful people inside the company. As director of human resources, her role was to safeguard workplace culture, enforce ethics policies, and ensure compliance with corporate standards. In short, she was the person tasked with preventing exactly the kind of scandal she would ultimately become a part of. By all accounts, Cabot had built an impressive career. She'd been with Astronomer for nearly a decade, rising through the ranks and cultivating a reputation as a decisive, trusted leader. Employees knew her as the gatekeeper for promotions, hiring decisions, and internal investigations. Her influence extended far beyond her job title, and her proximity to the CEO only heightened her authority. That's why the public's reaction to the kiss cam footage was so explosive. This wasn't a case of a CEO having an affair with someone outside the company. It was a CEO engaging in a very public display of affection with the very person charged with upholding corporate ethics. It wasn't just personal betrayal, it was a professional conflict of interest of the highest order. Almost immediately, the internet seized on the irony. Social media posts skewered the hypocrisy, with viral captions like "The HR department will see you now" and "Policy violation, Exhibit A." Commentators pointed out that her position likely gave her access to sensitive company information and the power to shield herself and Byron from internal scrutiny. For Astronomer, this wasn't just a PR nightmare, it was a breach of trust. At the top of the organization, and as the investigation into Cabot's role would later reveal, the kiss cam moment was just the tip of the iceberg. The Coldplay kiss cam moment might have ended as an awkward footnote in concert history if not for the internet's insatiable appetite for scandal. Within minutes of the footage appearing on the big screen, smartphones were up, capturing the interaction from multiple angles. By the time the encore ended, clips were already making their way to TikTok and Twitter, often with captions that made no attempt at subtlety. "That's not his wife." The spread was immediate and relentless. TikTok users slowed the video to half speed, zooming in on gestures, facial expressions, and the unmistakable company-branded VIP passes hanging from both their necks. Reddit threads sprang up overnight, dissecting every frame. While amateur sleuths began connecting dots, one viral post included a freeze frame of Cabot's wrist, identifying a luxury bracelet that later appeared in her own Instagram photos. Then came the real turning point. Financial receipts began surfacing. Screenshots of an expense report allegedly tied to Astronomer showed $800 VIP concert tickets and a 2-night stay at a luxury hotel charged to the company credit card. Combined with Uber receipts picking both Byron and Cabot up from separate addresses and dropping them at the same location, the narrative shifted from gossip to potential corporate misconduct. By the next morning, the story had escaped the confines of social media. Digital news outlets picked it up, adding legitimacy to the claims. Cabot's LinkedIn profile vanished overnight, her decade-long career erased in a single panicked click. But by then, screenshots had already preserved it in countless Reddit archives. In less than 24 hours, a private moment had become a public crisis, one with the potential to not only destroy reputations, but destabilize an entire company. While the internet spiraled with memes, outrage, and relentless speculation, one person remained silent. Andy Byron's wife, Megan, no Instagram stories, no cryptic quotes, no public statements. But behind that silence was a carefully calculated strategy. Within 24 hours of the video going viral, Megan began removing all traces of her marriage from public view. She unfollowed Andy on social media, archived years of photos, deleted holiday albums, and even changed her name on every platform from Megan Byron to Meg Carrion. To the casual observer, it looked like a woman disappearing from her husband's narrative entirely. To those paying closer attention, it was the first move in a larger plan. Sources close to Megan have since revealed she wasn't blindsided at all. Months earlier, in October, she quietly hired a private investigator after suspecting her husband's infidelity. By the time the kiss cam footage aired, she had already collected months of evidence, receipts, timelines, and surveillance images. While Andy was planning hotel getaways, Megan was building a case. When the scandal broke, she didn't react, she executed. Every social media edit, every unfollow, every vanished photo was part of rebranding herself away from the scandal and toward independence. The internet took notice, quickly crowning her revenge royalty, and the Silent Slayer memes shifted from mocking Andy to celebrating Megan's composure and foresight. Her silence wasn't weakness, it was power, and as we'll see, this quiet, deliberate approach was just the opening move in what would become one of the most aggressive divorce and corporate accountability campaigns Silicon Valley has ever witnessed. Once the kiss cam footage went public, astronomer, the billion-dollar tech firm Andy Byron built, was thrust into a crisis that extended far beyond gossip. Within 48 hours, the company's market value took a staggering hit, with shares falling 14% in a single day. Investors demanded answers, while some of astronomer's largest clients quietly froze ongoing contracts, citing concerns about governance and ethical oversight. Inside company walls, the atmosphere was tense and fractious, employees described Slack channels buzzing with speculation and leaked screenshots. Allegations surfaced that Kristen Cabot, in her role as Director of Human Resources, had approved questionable promotions and bonuses for Byron's close associates, decisions totaling over $2 million. These claims fueled internal anger, as staff questioned how two of the company's most senior leaders could so brazenly disregard its ethics policies. The damage wasn't confined to financials. Astronomer's official people-first mission statement vanished from the website, a move many saw as an attempt to distance the brand from its now contradictory leadership image. Journalists began digging deeper, unearthing previous complaints about favoritism and opaque hiring practices. Externally, the media narrative was relentless. Headlines didn't just focus on Byron's personal misconduct, they questioned whether astronomer's success had been built on a culture of cronyism and ethical blind spots. Industry peers who once praised Byron's leadership fell silent, and within days, he was placed on indefinite leave, corporate language widely interpreted as the beginning of his removal. By this point, the scandal had evolved from a viral embarrassment into an existential threat for Astronomer, raising the question, could the company survive the collapse of both its public trust and its internal leadership core? As Astronomer scrambled to contain the corporate damage, another battle was quietly and ruthlessly unfolding in the courts. Megan Byron, armed with months of documented evidence, instructed her legal team to move forward with what sources now describe as one of the most aggressive divorce cases in Silicon Valley history. The demand? A $35 million settlement plus additional damages tied to allegations of fraud and misconduct. At the heart of her legal strategy is the claim that Andy Byron misused company funds for personal gain, specifically to finance his relationship with Kristen Cabot. Court filings are expected to cite VIP concert tickets, luxury hotel stays, meals, and even transportation costs, all charged to astronomer and allegedly disguised as business expenses. Legal experts say these accusations, if substantiated, could qualify as a breach of fiduciary duty, opening Byron to both civil penalties and potential criminal investigation. But the claims don't stop there. Multiple insiders allege that Cabot, in her capacity as head of HR, may have shared confidential employee data with Byron, including performance reviews and complaint records. Such actions, if proven, could trigger inquiries from the Securities and Exchange Commission and labor regulators, putting both at risk of serious legal consequences. Meghan's attorneys are also reportedly exploring a novel legal approach, seeking damages on behalf of the couple's 3 children, arguing that the very public nature of the scandal caused measurable psychological harm. In an era where viral moments never truly disappear, they contend the impact on the children's reputations and well-being is lasting and severe. What began as a viral kiss cam moment was now a legal time bomb, one with the potential to not only dismantle Byron's personal fortune but permanently stain his professional legacy. While lawyers drafted court filings and astronomers' board met behind closed doors, the internet transformed the scandal into a full-blown cultural phenomenon. TikTok led the charge, with reenactments of the kiss cam moment racking up millions of views. Users mimicked Kristen Cabot's hair-stroking gesture, Andy Byron's smirk, and even his awkward attempt to duck behind the VIP railing. Some videos played out in slow motion with Coldplay's Fix You as the soundtrack. Others overlaid captions like HR violation caught live. Reddit took a more investigative turn. A 47-page Google Doc titled Operation Astronomer Timeline Evidence Theories went viral, compiling receipts, travel records, and screenshots from deleted social media posts. Twitter was equally unforgiving, with trending hashtags like #KissKimCEO and #RevengeRoyalty dominating timelines. Even the music world took notice. A Spotify playlist called Songs to Divorce Your CEO Husband 2, featuring tracks like Irreplaceable, Before He Cheats, and Viva La Vida hit over 2 million followers in 3 days. Coldplay's own social media accounts began liking memes referencing Meghan Byron, with one comment, "Fix You is about Meghan now," receiving a like from the band's official page. The internet's tone shifted from pure mockery to a mix of humor and solidarity. Meghan was celebrated as a symbol of dignity under fire, while Byron became a meme template captioned with everything from corporate blunders to personal fails. It was, in effect, trial by social media swift, merciless, and inescapable. What might have once been a week-long news cycle had now embedded itself into pop culture. And for Andy Byron, that meant no PR strategy could make the story disappear because it had already become digital folklore. Behind the headlines, viral memes, and legal filings lies the most human part of this story: Andy Byron's personal collapse. Friends and former colleagues describe a man now living in near complete isolation. Once a confident, polished public figure, Byron reportedly spends most days indoors, avoiding calls and declining meetings. Those who have spoken to him say he repeats the same phrase, "One mistake ruined everything." The fallout has been relentless. His professional reputation, once defined by keynote speeches, leadership accolades, and investor praise, is now reduced to a punchline. Internally at Astronomer, he's remembered not for the company's successes, but for the scandal that tanked its image. On social media, his name is permanently linked to the kiss cam footage, ensuring that any Google search brings the incident front and center. The personal cost has been equally severe. Byron's children, according to sources, have faced uncomfortable questions and taunts from classmates. Family members, including his own mother, have reportedly unfollowed him on social media. What was once a tightly knit personal circle has fractured under the weight of public embarrassment. Even routine moments have become reminders of his fall. Viral TikToks replayed the exact second Kristen Cabot ran her fingers through his hair. Coldplay's Fix You now appears in parody remixes bearing his name, and with Meghan's legal strategy still in motion, The possibility of financial ruin looms as large as the reputational damage. For a man who spent years cultivating an image of ethical leadership and personal integrity, the irony is inescapable. The scandal that began as a fleeting concert moment has rewritten his legacy, transforming a celebrated CEO into a cautionary tale about how quickly power, wealth, and respect can vanish.